Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad Supercoach Pro. Today I'm actually doing a bit of a Tiger profile here. I know it's normally a Supercoach video related, but there is some Tigers fans that do like to comment on some Tiger news. So I just want to go through some players that could be actually Supercoach relevant in this video anyway, for those that aren't Tigers fans, which would be majority of you, I feel, anyway. But I guess there's a little bit of insight being a fan of this side myself. I kind of feel like I'd have a good idea which rookies that can play immediately in our side. Now, I'll just go via the order it's already in. So, Patrick, I should take up a wing spot potentially. I don't know if he gets early games. I feel like this is one name that we should probably keep in our books for later on in the season, sort of that, I don't know, downgrade when we need to back half the season if he proves that he's a value commodity in the Richmond side. I just feel like there is a spot for the wing. I'm not sure if he's going to impress at the start and take that wing spot, because Richmond were interested in him in the year before that. But yeah, obviously we didn't do it because we drafted like 8 players last year. So for me, he's not one I think that will start in our midfield bench, but I think he is a high chance to be a downgrade option if Hugo doesn't prove himself early on in the season. Sam Cumming, we use for our first selection, pick 7. I think he is a player, depending on the price and depending what his role is early days. I reckon he'll be that half forward flank / midfielder for Richmond, because we've still got Taranto, still got Hotbar, still got Prestia. So even then, he's the 4th cab off the rank, you'd think. And then there's Laor there as well. So he might even be 5th, 6th banana. So he might actually play more forward, I reckon, because he's got that game in him early to be that sort of guy. He's not overly tall. I think he's about 6 foot flat or just under, something like that. So he's born in Wentworth. So this is a funny one. People sort of saying about the go home factor SA. If anyone's ever been to Wentworth, and I definitely have multiple times, it's on the border. It's right near Madura, so I don't see him going back home, because SA from Wentworth is about 4-hour drive, and then Wentworth back to like Melbourne, let's say, is about 6-hour drive, or 6.5 from Wentworth anyway. Madura is about 6 hours. So anyway, I don't know why I've gone down that rabbit hole, but he's definitely a player that will come into the side and has a spot there, I think, for Richmond. There's no way that he won't be lining up round one. They'll love to give him an opportunity. And I think he'll earn it over the preseason anyway. I think, that one preseason game you do have, whatever, he'll show how good he is. He's already been playing with the seniors anyway. So I think he is definitely one that will be good for our Supercoach sides. I'll probably fall in love with the pick anyway, because he is a Richmond boy, so it is always fun having Richmond rookies in when you do get the chance in Supercoach. So I just think, he's one that will play for us early on. Love the pick. Love how Tigers are going and with their recruitment. And, just trust what the recruiters have been doing for some years now. Sam Grill, one that I think play across wing and halfback flank. So I think I like his pedigree for Supercoach first year anyway, better than Cumming, in my opinion. He was our pick 8, played the VFL as well in our VFL side. Average 20 disposals. I think he'd be such a good link-up player from halfback to wing, etc. I just think he will, come in and maybe average 60s, 70s. I feel like Cummings probably got more of a spike score in him than what Grill might have potentially. But, we know how well halfback sort of link-up players can do in their first year of Supercoach. So, really happy with this pick as well. I mean, I originally thought about a couple of weeks ago that would go Roby and CDT, and that did not happen whatsoever. So the draft is so hard to read, honestly, in terms of, Cal Toomey and all that, doing those sort of picks. Very hard to nail that, and obviously he's got some inside word where us regular folk don't. Zane, I think he's a bit of a smoky. He's been playing midfield, but also small forward role as well. I think it's, he's got to battle that spot out. I mean, Seth Campbell's got one pocket and he potentially could have the other, because he's not really rated, MJ isn't really rated in our side as much as some people think. I know people have been saying in the comments as well, they want to see Mansell go back behind the ball and be like a back pocket. So I'm really not sure about Zane. He could be a cheap F7, F8, but I'd rather a different player at that point. And then Noah, I don't think's got any hope first year playing, but nothing would surprise me. But as for Supercoach picks, I think it's pretty obvious that out of all the players I can think for rookie wise, I mean, before I go into that, this is probably the wing spot I'm talking about that Grill takes is that McIntosh wing. Bauer wasn't best 22, nor were any of these players by Young. So I think Trainer should go back behind the ball instead because Trainer was playing wing, and it means probably Grill will be that wing spot. But yeah, there is, I mean, two spots up for grabs when you look at that list, and it's probably Young and McIntosh replaced by Grill and Sam Cumming, but just obviously shuffling the magnets around because neither of those two are a key defender like Tyler Young. But now with a fifth spot on the bench, it makes those two players feel like, in my opinion anyway, get a lot of games, and I feel like enough game time as well. As long as they can make sure that they're well rested on the bench, they should be right to accumulate points. So yeah, I'm happy with what Richmond's list changes are. I think there's still a few questionable players that shouldn't be on our side, to be honest. I'm a straight shooter too. Like, I don't really beat around the bush with these sort of picks that I think should stay. Like, I am an absolute no fan whatsoever of Samson Ryan. I reckon he's the worst player I've seen on an AFL list. And I was actually a little bit surprised we didn't get any ruck relief. So I don't know what they expect Ryan to do, but this is a make it or break it year for him, surely. In the future for Richmond, look, I feel like this could be Prestia's last year. Lawson, I feel like, still got a couple of years in him. I don't want Ralph Smith on the list anymore. I think his time has to go. So for me, I think Prestia retires. Hugo Smith, I think, gets delisted because they show that you can't do anything bar run. Gibkiss is Supercoach relevant for sure. He's about 150k or something like that. I think as long as he can stay on the park, he'll make us enough money. Jaden's short for Supercoach. Don't get sucked into that like everyone did last year that wasn't a TIG supporter. I'm trying to think. Well, probably too expensive for Supercoach. Clark, I don't know how cheap Clark will be, but he did an ACL, so I'm not sure how cheap he'll be. But he's one that could definitely get a shot in our side this season. I actually thought he was a forward, so I'm confused why it says defender. I might be completely wrong there. McAuliffe hopefully gets an opportunity. We saw he played all right for Supercoach scoring points anyway. Tom Brown could be a breakout sort of player if he actually accumulated a little bit more. Tresias, I'm not sure if he's going to get to hold his spot next year. I feel like this is a make it or break it for Tresias. Hugo, Samson, Ryan, those three are definitely in the rocket, and especially Sonzi as well. So there's four guys I think can get delisted, and then Prestia being retired. So that's already 5 players already. I wish I'd update this quicker than what they do. Like, it actually frustrates me seeing some of these players that we've already had all these changes of. Maybe I'm a little bit weird, but your media team got to do this quicker than that. And Caleb Smith and Green as well. I'm not really sure what their job securities are like because they're definitely fringe players, so not ones I'd ever pick in Supercoach. I mean, if you're looking at the team as a whole, we haven't been Supercoach relevant since pretty much Dusty Prime. Other than that, we've never been that sort of Supercoach team. But other than that, love where the club's going. I think Uze can get maybe 10 wins. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic, but I think we'll surprise teams again. I mean, last year people were saying we wouldn't win a single game, and look what happened there. So excited to see what our boys do. Definitely keen for this season. And I reckon the next season will be the one where we actually see the last, 4 or 5 duds go, and then we actually pick up some new talent just before Tassie hit. And I reckon we'll be primed over the next 3 or 4 years to actually hit finals. I think, it'll be interesting to see what happens once Lynch goes as well, because he's such a big pillar to our forward structure going for goal, because our forwards are quite young. And I don't know what the go with Sims is, because I can't see him being a ruck. So we definitely drafted probably a little bit too many tools in the forward half anyway. I would have liked to see him bring in maybe a back to replace Young, but obviously they're backing in Gibkiss and a few other players as well, like Campbell Gray this year. So interesting to see how we go. Again, just a bit of a random Tigers video, nothing too crazy. Before I go too, the track watch is interesting as well. As a Tigers fan, like it's nice to see that we see these little insights and what they're doing. We can see here, Broad and Taranto made an early gym sesh. So that's nice to see them in the club as well. I just don't really care about this thing about Caleb Smith was a highlight. Like it's always going to be a highlight when there's no pressure off your teammates. I really want to see our forwards do something this year. I want to see hit the scoreboard a little bit better. I don't want to see a trainer on the wing either. I want to see a trainer halfback, flank intercepting, sort of play that third tall role. I don't want to see him on the wing whatsoever now that we've actually recruited some sort of wingers. Bolter was back on the track. That's good. Lynch back on the track is very important for us to win games as well because he is definitely a guy that can flip a game on its head if he can get a few goals early or even late in the quarter. He's such a good player when he's on fire. Ross, interesting year for Ross as well. Hopefully he doesn't get pushed out that midfield because there's a huge chance those boys come along and take his spot. Miller's been fantastic. So, yeah, keen to see what Miller does again. It was a bit of a breakout year for him. Samson Ryan, I hate this. Well, it was moving around nicely, Olsen kicks out. Yeah, but who cares about the kicks out? It's more his like work around the ground and his tap work in an AFL game that just doesn't appeal to me. He's 24 years old. You give him so many chances and he's still on the damn side on a list. Doesn't make any sense to me. Alga, could he be a forward pocket player with Seth Campbell? I'd like to see it. He's definitely talented. Fawcett's a bit of a dark horse in this one, in my opinion. You just don't know what he could do. It wouldn't surprise me if they tried him down back. I'm not too sure, but we've just got an awful amount of tall forwards, in my opinion. Pressure forward, Ryan Mansell impressed with his piercing kicking, clean hands in basic pattern drill. So Mansell was moving the ball if it was his run accuracy kicking. Yeah, okay. Interesting as well because people want Mansell behind the ball as a back pocket. I don't know. I think I like that hard edge in the forward line, to be honest. I always found Newman strange, taking over the forwards considering he was a backman in his career. Brown looks good, so basically all supporters want him to get it more because he's such a good ball user. Sims and Clark making their way back from injury. So, yeah, interesting. And Sonzi's just hanging in by a thread, obviously contract-wise. So, yeah, overall, happy with the Tigers. Hopefully, we can get to some games this year and, or I should say, 2026 season. And looking forward to what we produce. I'll be looking forward to the videos that Richmond release as well because they're always quite interesting of training and how well players are playing. But it'd be nice to actually see them have a faster game style and see how we progress this season and what our game plan looks like from here. So, again, at least we've picked speed up this draft and heavily focused on that. Clearly. So thanks for watching. I know it's a bit of a Tiger rant, but if you're a Tiger supporter, give us a like. And I'll try not to drop too many Tiger things in my Supercoach channel, but I'm just not going to make a separate channel for the Tigers because there's other people that do that instead. So again, cheers for watching. Catch you on the next. Thanks. Bye.